Hey, how's it going today, you guys? Reverse here. And today I want to talk about what I'm looking forward to, or rather more, what I'd like to see different in Warzone 2. So, with Caldera, we've had plenty of good things added into the game, changed. So, first off, new maps, Caldera, Fortune's Keep, new iteration of Rebirth Island, all good things. A nerfed Ghost, made quite a few perk adjustments, added in redeploy balloons and portable redeploy balloons, high value points of interest, new contracts like the mystery contract. They've worked on the gas mask animation, so that way you no longer break into the animation if you're aim down sights in the gas. Still working on the bug where your camera locks up when you're sliding downhill. Now on to the bad, and there's quite a lot of bad things that came with Caldera. Hugely, and this is more of a popular opinion, people do not like Caldera as a map, and I personally don't mind it, but I see where people are coming from. Verdansk, a lot of people will sit there and say that Verdansk isn't a good map either, but what people liked about Verdansk was a lot of the key points of interest were older Call of Duty maps from older titles and newer titles, and that's something that they could have done with Caldera, and they kind of did with Storage Town, but they could add in things like Rust. I'm sure there would have been a spot on the map for Rust. There's some small portions where they added in Storage Town, but Storage Town is, not Storage Town, but Shipment's such a small map. You miss it every time. It's on docks. Another thing that it's always kind of been a problem, or at least a problem that I see, is the perks have never been balanced. And what I mean by that is, if you look at all the different perks, and I'll show you right here, here's all the perks that are in the game in their exact order. And if you look at them, they're just kind of scattered around, just thrown together. Now, the way I think it should have been done, and here's my example of the perks reorganized. And it could have been perk 1, perk 2, perk 3, but you look at it, there are certain perks that are more defensive. They fight against and combat other things in the game. Like EOD, it combats explosives. Ghost fights off UAVs and heartbeat sensors. Cold-blooded fights off thermal optics and combat scout. So they're more defensive perks, and that's kind of how I have it right here. Then perk 2 slot, equipment overkill for 2 custom loadout guns, restock to constantly have a lethal or a tactical tempered, which gives you 2 plates, which is the equivalent of 3 normal plates. And then in the final perk slot, perk 3, I have a movement and informational perks. So double time increases your sprint time and increases your weapon swap time. Combat scout gives you information on an enemy as you're shooting at them. Tracker tells you where someone's ran within a certain amount of time. High alert tells you direction someone's looking at you from. So if they would have been organized like this, you actually would have made a sacrifice picking a specific perk. And I've always kind of thought that. And maybe that's something that they change in Warzone 2. maybe Warzone 2 has completely different perks than Modern Warfare 2. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Now, redeploy balloons and portable redeploy balloons. I was just saying, good thing, and I still believe they are a good thing for getting around the map, blinking. What I don't think is a good thing is, since they added them into the game, and since they've added in redeploy extractions and more gulag tokens, it is ridiculous that you can fly at someone in the air, pull out your gun with no consequences, and have no recoil. And it happens to me quite a bit. I'll be playing for position, holding area, and then someone will hit up a redeploy balloon and will just gun me out of the air, and by the time I actually realize what's happening, it's too late. So there needs to be a fix to that, either gun bob midair like the 3 line, or a massive amount of recoil. Now, peak is always a high value loot point of interest, always. It kind of always has been, but when they added in the high value point of interest, peak has always been one. In every single game, peak is always going to be one, and I don't think that should be a thing. Now, this is a little nitpicky and whatever, it's my opinion, but I feel like if we're going to have high value points of interest, it should pull you away from the main point of interest, peak being the new superstore. And then free loadout drops. Now, we had the Vanguard Royale, and when that came into the game, it was like 5 minutes until you'd get your loadout, so you'd spend the first part of the game running around with loot guns, floor loot guns. And then they made a change, and they made it to where loadouts drop sooner, but then they overdid it. Now it drops so quick that it's pointless to do a scavenger. It's pointless to sit there and try to get as much money to buy a loadout. Sure, someone can say, well, you just get a UAV. Well, sure, you can do that, and you can pick up a bounty, but I feel more comfortable pushing someone with a custom tailored loadout gun and have an upper hand than just going at them and they just happen to have a better gun than me. And speaking about loadout campers, this has plagued the game since Verdansk, and it's a shitty strategy, but it works, and it's so dumb that it works. And I've actually got a creative solution to where this wouldn't be as big of a problem. So in rebirth solos, when you kill someone, that enemy actually puts off a pulse of a UAV, letting you know they're coming in. They also ping players around them. I think it'd be a good idea when the loadout drops, your free loadout gives off a small radius UAV ping until you go and pick it up. And I think that would combat people who are camping loadouts. Sitting over there in a bush, you'd be able to know that they're there, or vice versa. Your loadout drops, you see someone's there before you. Maybe you don't go straight for your loadout right away. It's one solution I can think of to combat this. The only other thing I can think is separate the loadouts a little bit farther. Then onto kind of the biggest problem with the Vanguard integration, the guns. The meta has been a long range, no recoil AR with decent damage for the entire life cycle of Caldera. So we first had the Automaton, no recoil, good damage, and the Bren for like 3 months, no recoil, good damage. And onto the STG, same story. Nerfed that, then they buffed the NZ, and then that took over the STG spot. And then they finally just nerfed the NZ, and now we're back to the STG and the KG. No recoil, decent damage. So I really hope that we go back to something like what we had in Cold War, or even Modern Warfare 2019's integration. Good recoil equals good damage. And what I mean by good recoil is it's actually got recoil. You actually get to pull down your mouse or thumb stick to control the recoil. Ultimately, it leads to a very boring meta because it feels like you never switch guns. It's just a long-range AR with no recoil. So hopefully the meta is more refined in the new VR. In closing, a few other things that I just kind of want to touch on briefly. Auto mantle. So it is annoying, and honestly I wish it was something that they honestly worked on, because it's not terrible that you auto mantle forward. What's terrible is you'll be in a room in a small space and you'll hop up, and because you're close to something you'll reverse auto mantle or sideways auto mantle. I never want to auto mantle when I'm aimed down sight, or make it to where if you're aimed down sight you can never auto mantle. Secondly, and this one's more recent, unstable servers. So the past few days I've had, I think just the other day I had 2 games in a row. I played about 3 minutes of it, and then the server died out. The gun froze up, and then it happened twice in a row. And then when I finally get into a match, I have to deal with loadout campers, and I wound up spectating a hacker. At that point I decided, you know what, I'm done for today, and got off. But those are all things that are subjective to me. You know, that's my personal opinion of things that I think could be better in Warzone 2. You might not think the same thing, and there might be some things I missed on, like the good portion of what I think they did in Caldera, and probably quite a few things I'm missing on the bad side. But if you enjoyed this at all, please leave a like. If there's anything that you think I should have mentioned and could have, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I had to say in this video. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the video, the rest of this gameplay. It's not a win, but it's kind of a fun little video. I wasn't actually recording it to get a gameplay. But yeah, dual sniper. Enjoy.
Get to the new safe zone. Gas is closing in. Gas is moving. safe zone highlighted.
Need an airstrike on my position now.
Got your request. Cluster strike is active. Gas is inbound.
Need an airstrike on my position now.
Got your request. Cluster strike is active. Gas is closing in. Relocate to the safe zone. Only a few others stood and victory. Next time will be different. Turn the place.
Hey man, good game.